Amazon sellers who want to increase their sales need an effective storefront design that captures customer attention. In this video, you will learn 5 powerful tips to improve your Amazon storefront, including mobile optimization, storytelling techniques, and strategic product positioning with real examples from successful brands. If you need help creating Amazon storefront professionally with professional designs, try Mindful Goods. Find the link below in the video description.
Hello, Daniela. I'm super excited to have you back on Orange Klik YouTube channel today because you're going to share 5 very powerful tips that will help Amazon sellers to improve their Amazon storefront design. And as always, we know you share really cool stuff with a bunch of examples usually as well to inspire Amazon sellers. So we're all excited about it. But as always, let's first start with your short introduction. And can you also let us know what Mindful Goods is doing to help Amazon sellers to sell more products?
Sure. Thanks for having me. Again, I think this is like the 4th or 5th time. I'm so happy to be back. So my name's DANIELA BOLZMANN. I'm the founder of Mindful Goods. We do creatives and SEO for e-commerce brands on Amazon. We've been doing it about 7 to 8 years. We've helped over 500 brands, generated millions of dollars for those brands with the creatives that we put out. So I'm going to walk you through amazing examples today, and that's what we're going to get into.
Perfect. And I know you prepared the slide deck for us as well, so we could actually visually also follow you along. So go ahead, share your screen, and let's start straight away.
Okay, let's get into it. So today I'm going to share 5 tips for better Amazon storefront design. And this is one of my favorite topics. We also did another full video last year that walks you through plenty more deep optimization tips and why this is so important for storefronts. But specifically, this one is going to get into some 5 quick tips for you. Just some quick background. My team has been doing this almost 8 years now, and we've supported over 500 brands, like I said, and we've generated millions of dollars. We're also a verified service partner from Amazon, and we've been featured. Our case studies have been featured by Amazon, and we've also spoken at the Amazon Accelerate conference this last year. The Amazon team says things like we're the most gifted in the world at the creatives that we're doing for brands, and brands are saying that we're an ideas machine. These are some of the creatives that we've done with storefronts. But the reason why content matters when it comes to shopping is that shopping is changing. One of our reps at Amazon said that 99% of brands need better content, and that if they invest in content, they should make their money back within days, and that good content is no longer good enough. And this is what we believe through and through. The other thing that we have to remember is that 54% of e-commerce brands say that their ranking and traffic increases when their content is updated. And here at Mindful Goods, we see that to be true. 87% of the brands we work with see an increase in sales when refreshing their content on Amazon. And more specifically, our brands are seeing anywhere from 20 to 1100% increase in orders when they're refreshing their content. So well over 50% of brands are seeing drastic improvements in their orders after they refresh. So the first tip I'm going to get into today for storefront specifically is going to be navigation. And the reason why I'm starting with navigation is that this is really the foundation of everything else I'm going to talk about. It all comes down to navigation. And the way that I think about navigation is in this simple checklist that I created here for you. One is, how do we simplify it? How do we make it very simple for people to navigate our storefront on the homepage specifically? And then how do we show multiple ways of sorting the information that we're presenting? So we want to try to keep that as simple as possible. I'm going to show you some examples of what I mean. The other thing we want to consider is that the visual navigation should be matching the navigation in the header bar at the top of the page. So we want to try to make that match as much as possible. And the biggest key at the end is going to be avoiding rabbit holes. Less clicks is better. We don't want people going down all these different pages. We want to try to make it really simple from the homepage to see where they're going, click on it, either get to that product page or get to that sub page. And they shouldn't be clicking much more beyond that. The best case scenario is if they find what they need right away and they add it to cart from the homepage. So you always want to be thinking about it as simple as that. So one example that I'm going to show you here is this one with Junie. And I just wanted to zero in and focus on this section before we show you the live example. And then we can go and look at those as well. But With this example here, you can see right up at the top, we're showing their 4 flavors. This is the most simple way. If you have less than 8 SKUs, less than 10 SKUs, it should be a very simple landing page that shows your products right there at the top of the fold. So with this one with Junie, for example, right here at the top, we're making it really easy for them to see that we have decaf flavors and we have core flavors, right? This right there, it's one of the first things that hits them after we introduce the product. Then if we scroll down, we're showing the 4 products, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 flavors that people can buy. And so it's the same information, essentially, like some are decaf, some are core flavors. And then these are the 4 flavors that we're breaking out, but we're showing it in different ways, right? This is one that would be what I would consider a little bit more complex. So what I wanted to show you here is that we have a cat supplement. We're showing it in 2 different ways, right? So we're showing first for the shopper that you can go and shop a product for cats or you can go and shop for dogs. Do you have a cat or do you have a dog? That's what we're asking them here, basically. And then if they don't want to just search for something for their cat, maybe they have a specific concern. And this is where we're getting into problem solution, right? My cat has something going on with their ear or their nose or their mouth. I would click here to go find it. So this is what I mean when I say explaining or navigating through different methods or different ways of how people search. But then you can see, do I have a dog or do I have a cat? That's what I'm thinking as a shopper. If I scroll down here, what is the problem that I'm seeing with my pet? Maybe it's weight management. Awesome. They have a solution for that. Oh, I also have joint support issues. They have a solution for that. So it's a problem solution oriented search. And so this is the information that you can actually pull and start to understand through your PPC reports as well. You can see how people are searching for your products. Are they searching to find a solution or are they searching for a specific type of product? You want to kind of use that data as you're trying to understand your navigation on your storefront. So the way that I think about navigation is it a simple navigation? Do we have less than 10 products or is it more complicated? This for me would be a more complex type of product because it's a sock, but there's socks for men, women, kids, and then there's also socks based on the cut, right? So do we want a casual crew, the original crew, the fuzzy, the low profile, the high profile? Like what are do we want a diabetic sock, a compression sock? So that's what we mean when we talk about navigation. We want to make it as easy as possible and as quick as possible for the customer to get to the exact information that they're looking for. So the second tip that we're going to walk through here is mobile. And this is one that we shared in a previous video, but it's super important. For this, I don't want to get into visual examples. If you go look at every single one of these examples that I'm pulling up for you in this video on your phone, you can see how it looks like on mobile. But the important thing for you to know is that you want to make sure that you are optimizing for these 3 things. So 1, when you're setting up your storefront, if you're using something called split sections and basic section layout, that's going to allow for you to use background videos and shoppable images on mobile and on desktop. Then you're going to want to preview it on mobile. So what that looks like is you're going to click on mobile, then you're going to choose split section from the right-hand section, and then you're going to choose mobile and basic section layout. If you choose these modules here for basic section layout, it's going to allow you to make the most mobile-friendly website that you can with all of the functionality that I'm talking about in the rest of this presentation. So that's what I wanted to explain with this mobile section. The other thing we have to remember is that consumers are shopping more than ever on their phones. And this is an old stat, but we know that 69% of all store visits were made from mobile devices. It's something that Amazon shared in 2021. So it's likely more than that now. And we have to stay on top of this and make sure that you're optimizing for mobile. And this is the best way to do that. Then you can drag and drop and play around with your modules once you have them in there. But these are the important modules to select when you're on the back end of Amazon. It will allow you the most flexibility with your design. The next tip that I want to get into is above the fold content. So when we're thinking about designing for storefronts, this is one of the critical areas that we need to think about. But what's important is these factors. 1, drawing attention as quick as possible with attractive visuals. And for us, that means custom content designed throughout, but especially paying attention to the top of fold content. We want to introduce the product with a USP and understand really quickly, what is this product and what is the offer? What is the assortment? Is it, you know, like we said, product for cats or product for dogs? Is it, socks? What are the types of socks that they offer? Like if it's socks, what are the types that they offer? If it's pet products, what are the types? What are the high level categories? Those are the two pieces of information that people need to understand at a quick glance at the top of the fold. Then we need to define our strategy of whatever we're showing on that screen. Are we educating? Is there education needed around this product? Or are we taking them deeper to explore and find their product? Or do we just want them to buy? Like if we're only talking about one product, they should be able to just click and buy. If there's only a few products, they should still be able to just click and buy. If we're talking about categories of products, they might actually want to explore a little bit. And if we know that our product needs a little bit of education, maybe it's a newer invention or it's not as easy to understand, maybe we want to educate in a different way, like adding a video to the top of the fold. The other thing we want to make sure that we have is easy access to bestsellers. And then we want to, a best practice is pointing to your follow us button. So to show you some examples of this. Oh, one more thing. The other thing that's most critical that you'll see in this entire presentation is when we design brand stores on Amazon, we design everything custom top to bottom. And the reason for that is this data that Amazon published in 2021 saying that brands that use custom images for their stores and their sponsored brand campaigns saw on average 124% increase in sales compared to those that didn't. And the reason for that is obvious. When you hit an attractive storefront, it's like landing on a beautiful direct-to-consumer Shopify website. Like sometimes you get wrapped up into these brands and you spend way more time and you end up falling in love with the brand and buying the product. And so that's the goal at the end of the day with custom imagery. If you are more of an e-commerce style direct-to-consumer brand, this is the way to go. And so the examples that we're going to walk through here, let's take a look at co-chair. This one here, you can see we point to the follow us button. We are giving them a chance to explore. But the other thing you'll notice at the very top, the one thing that was very important to this brand is they do require a slightly bit more of education, because you would think that this is just coffee. But the reality is that this brand specifically roasts the coffee the second you place the order. So it's a very specific coffee experience that they're trying to deliver, and they want people to know that right away. You're not just having coffee that's sitting at Amazon for months on end. This is coffee that once you place the order on Amazon, they're going to roast it the next day and ship it out. It's highly specialty grade and it's single origin coffee. So this is for the people who are obsessed with their coffee, and they want you to know that up front. So that's why they took this more of an exploration approach and this education approach here before they get into the buying of the product, which is still pretty far up in terms of the entire thing. But you can see it's definitely mixed in there in terms of making sure that we're educating, and that's the goal at the top of that one. So for this one, this is a brand that also wanted to educate more so than just hit people with a sale. And the reason for that is that this is a fitness piece of equipment, or multiple pieces of fitness equipment, that people need to understand like the benefits of it and how it's used. And the best way that we can do that is just by showing them the video and letting them understand the true effectiveness of this product. So we know if we can educate them first, then they can come in and find the product that they're looking for specifically. And we kind of weave that throughout this entire storytelling experience. And we're going to get in. I want you to pay special attention to where we have these looping videos that are auto playing in the background. We're going to get into this in just a second. This is another one of my pro tips. But you'll notice that's one of the tricks that we deploy across all of these storefronts. So if you look at this, they're hitting you with validation of their community right up front. And this is a brand that is like, they know their top sellers. They're just going to hit you with their top sellers at the top of fold, so you can get to the product that you're looking for. And so what happens a lot of times when brands have already invested in their top of funnel, and when people are searching for specific products, let's say on Google, they're going to land on this homepage, right? Or on this storefront from Amazon. And so if they know that a significant amount of traffic is searching for these top 4 products, we want to make it as easy for them to just click and buy that product as possible. So we're going to put the link directly to that product page right at the top of the fold after we show them that they're at the right place and that this is a brand that's trusted by millions of people. One more example of a different strategy, and this is one that I definitely recommend using when possible. If you have specific products that, again, like people are searching for, you want to try to use shoppable images whenever possible, because the great thing about this is they can just do one click add to cart and move on. So if you have a product, especially like that last homepage where there's not much consideration involved, you already know you've invested in brand awareness, people are looking for that specific protein powder, they just need to find it, add it to their cart, and move on with their day. A high velocity product would be a great type of product to add this type of shoppable button to. So you want to think through, like, where else on your entire homepage can you add this to? And does it make sense to add this to the top of fold for your types of products? Yes or no? So let's get into tip number 4 with storytelling. So the interesting thing about storytelling is that people think it's just shoving a bunch of text on the screen and telling your story about your brand. And for us, that's not really what storytelling is. So I wanted to break it down and help people understand what is storytelling when people use that language. And so I kind of bucket it into 3 things. It's a storytelling checklist, right? One is video. There's 2 types of videos that you can use to help people understand what your brand is about, what your products are about, and why it should matter to them. And one is through standard traditional video where you click a button and you watch the video, less than 5 minutes, maybe even less than 2 or 3 minutes, that's something quick, gets to the point, and wraps people up and wraps people into your brand and helps them understand what you're all about. That's more of a branded content video. You can also go for more of like an e-com style video where you're just quickly saying 3 things about the product, 3 benefits about the product, and using that to convince them to buy. You can also do more of an influencer style video where you have influencers talking about the product and selling the product for you, which can also be a very effective way of using a standard click to play video. But there's also the videos that I showed you previously where when you're scrolling, they just autoplay. And those ones actually feel like a looping, what we call a GIF, and they just autoplay and loop with no sound. But what that's doing for you is it's really telling a visual story and showing people either how to use the product or making people feel comfortable with your product or just giving them any sort of other elements to keep their attention on the page, right? So this can be a really effective way of supporting whatever text is on the screen. And I would say what's even more important than text on the screen is dialing in all these visuals. So the second piece we'll get into for storytelling is definitely going to be the copy that you're using, but you'll notice in all of the examples that we have, it's very minimal on the copy. The copy is really there mostly for like an SEO supporting role, and it's really focused on like the headlines to bring you down the experience top to bottom so you understand what are all the core things that we need to tell you about this brand and product line before you buy this product. So you want to think through your copy as you would an actual landing page on your own website. And so for this, I have 2 ways of thinking about it. Are we really weaving in like a brand story, or are we talking about a single product? And if it's a single product, we just need people to understand that single product really well. And if we're talking about a brand stories can be done in one module or they can be weaved throughout. You really have to figure out what that balance is. But the copy should not be the main focus of your storefront, because 90% of what people take in is going to be the visual content. So we want the visuals to tell the story and support the copy. So let's get into some examples so you can see. Basically, every example I've shown you is doing this, but there's some ones specifically that I really love that have a good balance of visuals and text. So I wanted to explain to you how we did that. So if we go look at Skin Refit. So this is an interesting product because it's just a single product for now. And so what you'll notice is right off the bat, we have really interesting content that's getting people to stay on the screen, but we're just having this USP here, flaunt your rough and bump-free glow, right? And then you can see here, it's a slip stick. People are using it right here in these videos. And it's the first thing you see. So it's completely grabbing your attention. But if you look at this, there's really not a whole lot of text on this. Like, we're not saying like, hey, we're Skin Refit and this is what we're all about. And you should try our product because blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that. We're just saying, this is what this is. And who does that speak to? It speaks to the people that are like, oh my God, I have that problem all the time. My skin is ashy. I need this, right? And we're seeing that the people are using this after working out or they're on the go. So it's a very convenient convenience-driven video. And then if you scroll even further, we're explaining the product really well. We're showing the benefits of the product, but everything is really interesting. These are these auto-playing videos, again, that feel like GIFs, right? But it's called a background video. That's the name of the module in the back end of Amazon when you're uploading all of your images and your videos. This one is called a background video. And so in order to get this to display right on mobile, you want to use those mobile settings that I shared earlier. But everything is kind of working together. Not like nowhere on this page is there like a ton of text. Everything is very simple, very straightforward. If anything, this is really talking about the brand itself. So this is the brand story, so to speak, but you can see it's only like 3 little mini paragraphs. And then everything else up here is really just walking you through what this product is, how to use it, why it's important, why it benefits you, why it actually works. And that makes it so easy because it's just one product on this page. If we go to the next one, Unbox Me. So this is another interesting one because it's a female-founded company. They have multiple products that they need to be talking about, and they're all by like different occasions. They've curated these gift boxes by occasion, right? So there's lots of different gift boxes that they launch every year, and they need to do a really good job of explaining to people why this is the solution for their gift giving. So we want to make it really simple. But again, if you look at this content from a storytelling lens, we're introducing the product. We're telling them why it makes their life so much easier because we've already gone through the work of finding all these amazing gifts and curating them for you in a box, and it shows up all beautiful to the person who is sick or lost a loved one or whatever the case may be. Mother's Day, whatever the scenario is, they have a box for that. And so the only text on the screen is really supporting that story. So it's hand-packed with love, quality products. Very simple copy. And then we have these background videos that are playing to show you the products that are packed with love. So you are just wrapped up into this beautiful storytelling of the visual storytelling of the products that are in their catalog. You can scroll down here. Again, this is another animated GIF that is basically what we call a background video. Here you're showing all the different ways that people can shop. So coming back to navigation, and they anchor with a video, which is another strategy. If you don't want to do your video at the top because it's really precious real estate, you can always add a video to the bottom, which can be more of that anchoring. So once they hit the bottom, it gives them something else to digest. So this is another good strategy here. So if we start at the top here, again, introducing the product, showing that there's 2 different types, decaf or the core flavors, and then showing what this is good for, showing the 4 different products. So again, back to navigation, showing the other range of the decaf. And here is where you start getting into some storytelling. We have a video about the brand. Here we're explaining some more of the benefits. This is about the founders who, happen to be celebrity founders. And then here we're explaining all the different benefits of this product or ingredients in this product that make it so special, and then anchoring with the community that they have around them. So again, they're not saying on the screen, we have this amazing community of X amount of people. You should join our community because it's so special. It's not a bunch of words on the screen. It's visual storytelling that's making you feel like part of a community. And I think that's the part that gets challenging when we're thinking through how to create a landing page. We need to strike the balance of explaining the products in the catalog. It's easy for people to digest. The last tip that I have for you guys is strategic product placement and design. So this whole presentation, you've seen amazing designs throughout, but one thing that we need to talk about is placing your products throughout. And specifically when you're doing that, we want to make sure that we have shoppable images where it makes sense. We want to make sure that we have the best sellers at the top of the fold. We want to make sure that Amazon modules are folded in. I'm going to show you an example of that. And then using custom imagery throughout for key products and categories. So you have likely picked up on that on every example that I've shown, but just to show you some more examples, if we look at HomeSphere, you'll notice that right at the top, we have these shoppable images like I just mentioned. But then we also have, are you looking for cake stands or displays or glassware? So it's just showing the options in a different way. And then throughout here, we are showing product placement and how people would use it in the wild in these images. So again, leading with visual content. Here we have a video breaking this down, but again, looping video. So you're seeing more and more examples of what this would look like in my home if I was hosting. Like, oh my gosh, this would look so good. This would elevate my dinner parties. I want this, right? That's what the shopper's gonna be thinking. If you look at these key elements that we're highlighting, rotating cake stand, round cake stand, dome-shaped lid. These are all custom images. So this is one thing that you should be testing versus doing something like an Amazon module, which might actually also help with conversion depending on the products. So I have that example pulled up for you here. If we look at Yes Bar, it's another one we did for Yes Bar. They were actually split testing. Do we want custom buttons or do we want to use the Amazon buttons to see which one is going to perform best? And we definitely recommend testing both. But I don't think it's a clear-cut case across the board. And Amazon themselves says that having custom imagery is the way to go. But I do think there's something to be said in terms of conversion for mixing in these elements from Amazon that show like the Prime logos. There's the bestseller module, which you could add almost throughout anywhere. Like you could add it right here, and then you would see Amazon's logos with bestseller products right underneath that you could scroll through. I think adding that into the mix and folding it into the design is a really great practice and something that you can definitely test over time as well. And then one more, I think we have one more. Let's see. So if we take a look at this product here, right at the top of the fold, they have their 2 top bestsellers. And this is the benefit. If you know which products of yours are the top selling products, just put them at the top and make it really easy for people to buy before you start getting into any of the other elements of breaking down the benefits like we do here. Again, breaking down the other more popular products, but you can see we're kind of weaving them throughout. So we have beautiful lifestyle image with some benefits. Then we have a section of explaining these types of products. And we have another video explaining the product. And another lifestyle image before we get into explaining another category of the products here, right? So you want to kind of weave them throughout. If you just drop onto a page and you have just a bunch of products sitting there, that's when you get into this place of feeling overwhelmed as a customer or as a shopper, and you're just going to bounce from the page. So we want to make sure that we're not overwhelming them, that we are playing this balance of using the content to tell this visual story from top to bottom. Okay, and for everyone who watched this presentation today, I have a special bonus item for you. This is something that we charge for, but for Orange Klik community, we're giving it to you guys for free. It's basically a swipe file of all of our tried and true curated examples that either we've pulled from Amazon ourselves that our design team loves or ones that we've designed. So it'll include many of the designs that you saw here today in this presentation. And then you can go and see, go research them on Amazon and see if they have any new content or if they've changed anything. And you can kind of use that to inspire your designers and to help you elevate your storefronts even further.
Very cool. Thank you so much for such a cool presentation. And I'm sure it's super, super useful because of all of these live examples you provided us also from Amazon and really explaining the different modules and everything, because I think it can be a bit overwhelming once you start building up your storefront and even if you want to improve it, because there are so many different modules and opportunities available, but this will definitely be a super helpful guide. And before we go, I also wanted to ask, what would be the best way to reach out to you or learn more about the services you offer for Amazon stores? Because I'm sure we have a few curious sellers for sure in the audience.
Yes, head over to mindfulgoods.co and you can find tons of examples on our website as well. We also have a mini audit if you want myself or one of our creative directors to look at your listings. But that's a great place to connect with us. Otherwise, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm super active there.
True. I can confirm that. And also we're going to add all of the links down to the video description below. So I hopefully enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, don't forget to like it. And also if you have any questions for Daniela, feel free to leave them as comments so we can ask you to come back and answer those as well. So thank you for taking the time to educate our Amazon sellers. And I hope to see you soon again.
I hope this video will help you to improve your Amazon storefront design with these powerful tips which you just heard from Daniela. And if you are interested in what Daniela's team at Mindful Goods do, check their link below in the video description, contact them, and maybe they will be able to help you. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons to see more videos we publish, and leave a comment if you have any additional comments and questions. And now I recommend you to watch another video where you will learn how to optimize your Amazon product listings to drive more sales.